The Montecito morning was bathed in a #golden glow, sunlight streaming through the floor-to-ceiling windows of Meghan Markle's luxurious home office. The room W as a vision of ambition, crisp white walls adorned with vibrant feminist art, a sleek glass desk cluttered with scripts and notes, and a vision board pinned with quotes like "Shape your future" and "Defy the odds." But today, the space felt like a battlefield, the air he #RV with defeat. Meghan sat hunched over her laptop, her eyes red from silent tears, staring at an email that shattered her dreams. The subject line from a netful #9 executive was stark: termination of actual product tie-ins agreement. The message was merciless. Her latest project, a scripted drama about women overcoming #varsity, had been scrapped after disastrous test screenings and creative misalignment. Worse, whispers on X and a VCOU's tabloid expose screamed the truth. Hollywood had turned on her, blacklisting her in a brutal campaign to erase her from the industry. The headline blared, "Meghan's Netflix catastrophe," and the sting of rejection cut deeper than any royal snub, threatening to bury her legacy as a visionary producer. Meghan had arrived in California with stars in her eyes, believing her 2020 exit from the royal family would launch her as a global media titan. She and Harry Hardy inked a lucrative Netflix deal, their actual productions poised to rival powerhouses like Oprah's Harpo or Shonda Rhimes' Shondaland. Their debut documentary had drawn millions, fueling Meghan's belief that she could redefine storytelling with projects that empowered and inspired. This drama was her passion project, a chance to prove she was more than a former Duchess. She'd spent months crafting the #script, hiring top-tier writers, and pitching it as a cultural milestone. But Hollywood, she was learning, was a maze of egos and unwritten rules, and her royal past made her a target rather than a trailblazer. The first cracks appeared 6 months ago, when a major studio rejected her docuseries on mental health, citing oversaturation. Then a not #her past, then another. Posts from industry insiders were cruel. Meghan's all HYPE, no delivery. She's radioactive. The Netflix cancellation was the final dagger. The email cited underperformance metrics, but Meghan K knew the truth was darker. A leaked memo, published by a tabloid, quoted a Netflix insider: "Meghan's a liability, too much drama, not enough return." The article claimed studio heads saw her as a polarizing figure, her every move shadowed by royal controversies and tabloid scrutiny. X was ablaze with vitriol. She thought she could conquer Hollywood. What a flop, one post sneered, #racking up thousands of likes. Others defended her, "This is a witch hunt. They are threatened by her." Meghan's heart sank as she read the memo's most damning line: "Her name's been #blacklisted. No one's touching her projects." The words echoed the rejection she'd faced as a Duchess, but this felt personal, a public execution of her ambit ion. Her mind flashed to her last pitch meeting in Los Angeles, 8 weeks ago. She'd walked into Netflix's gleaming offices, dressed in a sharp black blazer, her voice steady as she pitched her vision of #resilience and hope. The executives had listened, their smile as polite, but cold, their questions vague. One, a veteran producer with a reputation for bluntness, had cut her off. "Meghan, you're a name, not a brand," he'd said. "The audience isn't buying what you're selling." She'd left the room shaken but determined, spending weeks revising the script, pleading for another shot. Now, the cancellation confirmed her worst fears. Hollywood had slammed its doors, branding her untouchable in a silent, devastating blacklist. She called Harry, who was in Santa Barbara, at an actual charity gala. His voice broke when she forwarded the email. "Meg, how did this happen?" "They were on board last month," he said, confusion giving way to dread. She sent him the tabloid link, and his silence was deafening. "This isn't just about the show," he finally said, his voice low. When he returned home, his face was etched with anguish. "I called a contact at Netflix," he admitted, sitting beside her. They are saying you're too high risk. Someone's been spreading lies about your work, your demands, Eve #and our marriage. They are trying to destroy you. Meghan's stomach twisted. She #ed heard the rumors. She was difficult, arrogant, a diva who alienated CREWS. In truth, she'd pushed for our excellence, refusing to settle for mediocrity, but Hollywood had spun it into a narrative of failure. The Blacklist was a coordinated assault. A top talent agency dropped Archewell, citing portfolio real ignorant. A celebrated actress, once enthusiastic about a role, backed out after her team warned that Meghan's toxic reputation cal #d-tank her career. Then smaller opportunities, podcast deals, speaking engagements, vanished, with organizers offering flimsy excuses. Tabloids piled on with headlines like Meghan's Hollywood dream collapses. X posts speculated will d #lie. She's burned every bridge. Hollywood's done with her. Meghan felt the walls close-eye hashtagging in. Her vision of building an empire crumbling under the weight of rejection. One evening, #alone in her office, she found an email from a former Suits co-star, someone who'd once mentored her. The subject, honest advice. Her #art sank as she read, Meghan, the industry's turned against you. They see you as a lightning rod, too much baggage, not enough wins. Step back before you lose v #everything. Tears streamed down her face, her resolve wavering. She'd given up so much, her privacy, her royal ties, her peace, to chase this dream. Had it been a mistake? The pain was raw, a reminder of the palace's cold indifference, the British press's relentless attacks. Hall Ewood was supposed to be her sanctuary, but it had become another war zone. Harry found her curled up on the living room couch, a blanket pulled tight around her. Meg, we'll get rough this, he said, his voice fierce with love. She nodded, but the weight of defeat lingered. I thought I could be more, she whispered, her voice breaking. I thought they'd see me. Harry pulled her close, his arms a steady anchor. They don't deserve you, he said. We'll find your own path. But the WORDS felt fragile, against the industry's rejection. Meghan lay awake that night, haunted by the thought that her legacy, her chance to be a voice for change, was slipping away. As weeks passed, the scandal grew. Posts revealed a sinister campaign. Studio moguls, influenced by powerful publicists, had labeled Meghan unbankable. A leaked audio from a Hall Ewood party caught a producer bragging about killing her projects to avoid royal drama. Meghan's anger flared. She wasn't just being rejected, she was being erased. She and Harry hired a crisis PR firm to trace the smear campaign, uncovering ties to a Lond #on-based agency with palace connections. The implication was chilling. Had William's team, still bit over their royal exit, orchestrated this Hollywood purge? The thought fueled her defiance. Meghan refused to surrender. If Hollywood wouldn't embrace her, she'd carve her own path. One night, as Harry read bedtime stories to Archie and Lilibet upstairs, Meghan sat in her office, staring at a photo of them laughing on the beach. Her heart ached, but her mind was clear. She opened her laptop and began drafting a bold new plan, a streaming platform, independent and fearless, where she'd tell stories that mattered, free from corporate #e-gatekeepers. Her first project would be a docuseries exposing Hollywood's #betrayal, weaving her struggle with those of other sidelined voices, women, minorities, dreamers shut out by the elite. It was a risk, a leap into the #NN, but it felt like destiny. As she typed, her tears dried, replaced by a fire she hadn't felt in months. Weeks later, the PR firm pushed back, leaking stories of Hollywood's hypocrisy to friendly outlets. X trended WITH, #Meghan fights back, and a viral post declared, Hollywood tried to break her, but she's building something bigger. Meghan stood on her patio, the Pacific shimmering under the stars, and felt a surge of hop #E. The industry had dumped her, blacklisted her, tried to erase her. But Meghan Markle was a survivor. She'd rise from the ashes, build her empire, and write her own legacy, no matter